Hello guys, and welcome to this new episode of the Unexplainable podcast. In recent decades, the world has witnessed a growing obsession with UFOs and the possibility of human contact with alleged extraterrestrial civilizations. From government revelations to declassified videos from the United States Navy, interest in the phenomenon continues to fuel the debate. But among all the existing stories and theories, there is one that stands out for its incredible audacity and its staggering implications. The so-called Serpo project. Today I will guide you into the heart of this matter, revealing its most shocking details, the darkest secrets, and the revelations that could change everything forever. What we know about UFOs and the role of governments in guarding the greatest mystery of humanity. So here is Project Serpo, the unidentified flying object revelation that shocked the world. In recent decades, the world has witnessed a growing obsession with UFOs and the possibility of human contact with extraterrestrial civilizations.
The history of the project.
The Serpo project represents one of the most incredible and controversial stories of modern ufological narrative. It all would have started in 1947 following the famous Roswell incident, where an unidentified object would have crashed to the ground in New. On that occasion, it is said that the American Army not only recovered the wreckage of an alien spaceship, but also the bodies of extraterrestrial beings, some of which were still alive. One of these, nicknamed Extraterrestrial Biological Entity 1, Extraterrestrial Biological Entity 1, was reportedly interrogated by military scientists and put under pressure. He reportedly revealed a series of shocking information about his origin. The most incredible one, well, that is the existence of a planet called Serpo, located in the Z Reticuli star system. A very important piece of information, which would have given rise to a secret exchange operation between humans and extraterrestrials called Project Serpo. Indeed, the plan involved sending a group of American astronauts to the alien planet with the aim of studying the civilization of the Ebonists, the name given to the extraterrestrials of Z Reticuli. In 1965, after years of preparation, a team of 12 men composed of carefully selected scientists and military personnel would have set off for Serpo aboard an extraterrestrial vehicle. The journey through deep space would have lasted about 9 months, during which the group would have had to adapt to extreme travel conditions. Once they arrived on the planet, the astronauts would have discovered a world completely different from ours. Serpo, described as a planet with 2 suns. It had a hostile climate and an alien ecology, but the Ebonists seemed to be an advanced and peaceful society. During their stay, the crew members would have collected data on the biology, technology, and culture of the planet's inhabitants, learning to communicate with them and understand their habits. The mission, initially expected to last 10 years, would have extended to 13. However, the return to Earth would not have occurred without difficulties. According to anonymous sources, one of the astronauts reportedly died on Serpo due to harsh environmental conditions, while the others returned home transformed, deeply marked by the experience they had lived through. Some of them were reportedly devastated by the effects of the planet's radiation. Others struggled to readjust to life on Earth, and all of them were reportedly subjected to a strict debriefing protocol and quarantine. Okay, you might think, but where do all these informations come from? How and by whom are they brought to light? And this is where the mystery thickens. First of all, it is rumored that the first vague reference to an exchange program between the United States government and an alien race. This happened in 1983 when Linda Moulton Haw, a scholar engaged at that time in the production of a documentary on the possible existence of extraterrestrial civilizations, was contacted by a certain Richard C. Doty, a sergeant in the United States Air Force. On that occasion, Richard told her that he had obtained permission to provide her with official documents, including various films and photographs that proved the existence of a top-secret government human-alien exchange program, which, according to him, would have started as early as 1964. She had no other information, but those documents would have been a great starting point to conduct a thorough investigation on the subject. However, shortly thereafter, Doty backed out, stating that the clearance to deliver the documents to her had been revoked and that he was no longer authorized to release any information regarding the case. And nothing more was known about him. Later, still in the 80s, another famous scholar named Whitley Strieber brought the topic back into the spotlight. Whitley claimed to have been approached during a conference by a man who introduced himself as part of a team that several years earlier would have been sent to another planet to study its civilization. Sure, the statement seemed to come from a disturbed mind, and he didn't pay much attention to it. Only later did he realize the importance of that extraordinary revelation. But the news about this phantom project was still too vague, uncertain, and unsupported by any evidence. It would take about 20 more years before the topic was brought to light again, until 2005 to be precise, the year a key figure in the story made his appearance, a mysterious character of whom only the pseudonym Anonymous would be known. As I was saying, everything is just beginning. In 2005, when a certain Anonymous began to spread disturbing details about an alleged secret exchange between Earthlings and aliens that took place in the 60s. His claims were even supported by evidence, a series of files that, according to him, came directly from United States government and military environments. His statements, accompanied by these documents, were published on the Unidentified Flying Object Discussion Group Forum, managed by a certain Victor Martinez, a former government employee. And once made public, the internet community kicked up a real media storm. The revelations of Anonymous were nothing short of shocking. His account spoke of the Roswell incident, specifying that the event would have been characterized by the crash of two flying saucers into one another, as it was always thought. The first would have fallen in the Corona area, 75 miles from Roswell, and the second south of Dattel. Of the crew, only one alien would have survived, immediately taken to the Salamos National Laboratory for questioning. And during that interrogation, he would have provided information about Serpo, his planet of origin. Immediately after, a careful study of the discs, the crashed flying saucers, would be carried out, which would have allowed to recover one of their transmission devices, repair it, and open a communication channel directly with Serpo. According to Anonymous's account, the alien, who had survived the accident, died in 1952, making communication with the Eben civilization much more difficult. Fortunately, the negotiation to start the exchange program between the two cultures was already underway, and the mission was not compromised. On April 24, 1964, a meeting was organized near Haloman Base, where all the details of the mission would be discussed. Anonymous provided very detailed information on the training that was given to the 12 members of the group chosen to complete the journey. In-depth knowledge of astronomy, physics, psychology, nutrition, biology, linguistics, interrogation techniques, resistance, and the more he has, the more he puts in. In July 1965, finally, a spaceship from Serpo would have arrived in Nevada, and the 12 members of the group embarked to undertake their journey. But Anonymous's testimony presented some problems. Those, in fact, who considered the story a simple fantasy, contested the indications provided by him in relation to the distance of Serpo from the two suns of the Z Reticuli system and the planet's orbit, since they would be in total contrast with Kepler's third law to regain a minimum of credibility. Anonymous responded that the scientists themselves were amazed at the data in their possession, and that they had come to the conclusion that Kepler's laws were not applicable in that solar system. Anyway, The testimonies and documents presented generated an unprecedented debate online. On one hand, those who defended its authenticity at all costs, and on the other, those who highlighted its inconsistencies. Not to mention, many of the documents have a narrative style more similar to a science fiction novel than an official government report. At that point, however, the question naturally arose in public opinion. Who was anonymous, really? A government insider? An ex-member of an intelligence agency eager to leak the truth? Or a liar? With the sole aim of spreading disinformation and fueling the unidentified flying object myth? But the Serpo project did not end with him. Surprisingly, in recent years, other theories have emerged in the depths of the internet about the same. A clear sign that the story is still capable of stimulating the curiosity and imagination of mystery lovers. So let's see what these new discoveries about the case are. In recent years, the Serpo project has continued to be a topic of discussion, fueled by new revelations, alleged anonymous informants, and the growing interest in the unidentified flying object phenomenon globally. With the Pentagon's recent openness about sightings of unidentified objects and the creation of the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, speculation has multiplied about possible confirmations of the existence of an exchange program with extraterrestrial civilizations. One of the most fascinating theories suggests that the files related to the project may have been included in the classified materials delivered to the United States Congress in 2023. During the hearings on unidentified flying objects, some researchers believe that the statements of David Grush, a former United States intelligence officer, may contain implicit references to extraterrestrial contact programs. Although he never explicitly mentioned Serpo, Crash spoke of secret operations to study recovered alien aircraft and the existence of agreements with alien entities. This has led some to hypothesize a direct link with the alleged exchange of human beings with the Zeta Reticuli civilization. Concurrently, some insiders claim that the alien technology received in the alleged exchange has radically influenced the development of advanced devices, such as zero-point energy propulsion, navigation systems based on gravitational distortion, and more recently, warp drive prototypes. Some space technology experts believe that experiments conducted by National Aeronautics and Space Administration and private companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin could be the result of knowledge derived from secret studies on non-terrestrial energy technologies. Evidence, therefore, that the project is real. The role of Elon Musk and his statements about the possibility of colonizing Mars. Another intriguing element concerns the role of Elon Musk and his statements about the possibility of colonizing Mars. Some conspiracy theorists believe that the push for space colonization is motivated by undisclosed information. On the Serpo project, there is already an awareness of advanced methods of interstellar travel. As a result, it is hypothesized that some secretly tested technologies may be inspired by travel mechanisms used by the Eben, the alien civilization involved in the alleged exchange. Lastly, a more recent theory suggests that the Serpo project did not end in the 80s, but that a new mission has been organized in the last few decades. Some leaked files on the intelligence and unidentified flying object forum indeed speak of a second contact, which took place in the 2000s with a new exchange of technology and information about extraterrestrial life. Of course, these are claims without official confirmation, but many are staunchly defending this hypothesis. The question at this point arises naturally. Is the Serpo project just a modern legend, or is there a grain of truth that still eludes us? Perhaps with the continuous emergence of new information on UAPs and research on interstellar travel, the truth might be closer than we imagine. In the meantime, however, I leave the floor to the skeptics, as always. Obviously, the Serpo project with its fascinating revelations about the secret exchange between humans and extraterrestrials, has inevitably raised a wave of controversy. Official reactions didn't take long to arrive, with the United States government in the forefront, which, as expected, categorically denied any involvement in such a program. No official documentation, no declassified report, and no confirmation from competent authorities. They would never tolerate the existence of a secret mission on another planet. But the official denials were not limited to simple negations. Some intelligence experts have pointed out that the whole story could be the result of a disinformation campaign orchestrated to divert attention from real secret programs that governments are carrying out unbeknownst to the public opinion. An intriguing hypothesis is that the Serpo project was built on shreds of truth, skillfully mixed with falsehoods and legends, to create a narrative that, while on one hand attracts attention, on the other hand is impossible to verify. A true technique of psychological manipulation, aimed at confusing and putting obstacles in the way of independent seekers. Be that as it may, the Project Serpo remains to this day one of the most enigmatic tales in the history of unidentified flying object conspiracy. On one hand, the leaked information truly describes an unprecedented extraterrestrial contact, an interstellar journey, and an exchange program between humans and beings from another world, bordering on science fiction. On the other hand, the lack of concrete evidence and the numerous inconsistencies in the accounts suggest that it could just be a well-constructed story, a myth fueled by popular culture. But on second thought, what if there was a grain of truth hidden within the folds of this story? After all, throughout history, we have seen incredible realities emerge after decades of secrecy. For example, the MK Ultra project, which was considered akin to a folk legend for a very long time. The truth, for now, remains shrouded in mystery. And, as often happens, the line between reality and fiction is very thin, almost imperceptible, I dare say. But what do you think? Do you believe that the Serpo project is one of the most extraordinary revelations in the ufological history of our time, or simply a colossal hoax? Let me know your opinion in a comment. If you like this episode, leave a like, subscribe to the channel on YouTube, follow it on your favorite podcast platform, or share it with your friends. Greetings, and see you at the next appointment with the unexplainable. Unexplainable Podcast is a series conceived, written, and hosted by Luca Perella, sound designed by Matteo D'Alessandro. Listen to it on YouTube or on all music and podcast platforms.